You know who I'm talking about, right? That person in the room could be at a meeting, could be at a party. They're the silent observer. They listen, they watch, long before they ever say a word. Well, today we're going to get into the fascinating psychology of why they wait. So really, why do some people wait? Because, it's not always about being shy or having nothing to add. Not at all. We live in this world that's all about speed and being the loudest. But these folks, they're just operating on a totally different frequency. Let's figure out what's really going on in their heads. I mean, you know the scene. You're in a group. Ideas are just flying, bouncing off the walls. People are jumping in, talking over each other. The energy is just fast and loud. And right in the middle of all that chaos, there they are. They're not checked out, far from it. They're actually intensely engaged, but in a totally different way. They're picking up on the tone, the group dynamics, everything that's being said without words. And hey, maybe that person is you. Okay, so let's jump into our first type. We're calling this one the pattern reader. Now, for this person, a conversation is, it's not just a back and forth of words. Oh no, it's a whole system. Their brain is subconsciously drawing a map of the entire discussion, seeing how all the pieces connect. Think of it like this. For a pattern reader, the conversation is a giant jigsaw puzzle. They aren't just hearing individual words, they're seeing the relationships between them. They spot the contradictions, they notice the repetition, they feel the emotional currents in the room. Speaking too soon? That feels like jamming a puzzle piece in without even looking at the box. It's all about making one powerful contribution instead of 10 little noisy ones. And this just nails it, doesn't it? To everyone else, you just look quiet. But inside, your mind is firing on all cylinders, processing, connecting, and putting it all together. Okay, let's look at our next profile, the trust calibrator. Now, this person's silence isn't so much about intellectual analysis. It's all about emotional safety. They're basically scanning the room, trying to figure out if it's safe to be real. So while they're quiet, they're asking all these silent questions. Who's actually listening? Who gets defensive? Can I be truly honest here, or do I need to water it down? Can this group handle a complex idea? They're mapping out the social risks before they ever open their mouth. So for them, silence is a very active, very protective thing. It's not an empty space. It's a full-on evaluation of the room. It's actually a sign of incredibly high emotional intelligence. Now, let's talk about a totally different style of thinking. Meet the deep processor. These are the folks who absolutely do not think out loud. For them, the whole process is internal. They have to build their idea piece by piece inside their own head before it's ready for the world. The idea of speaking while you're still thinking just feels messy, exposed. They value coherence above all else. So by the time they do speak, that idea is fully baked. And that's exactly why their contributions often feel so thoughtful and on point. Because, they are. And here's the big irony, right? Our culture often confuses being fast with being smart. But for the deep processor, that slower pace isn't disinterest. It's the patience that's required to go deep. All right, on to our fourth profile. This one is all about responsibility. It's the impact-conscious communicator. This person deeply understands that words have real weight, that they can literally change the energy of a conversation in an instant. So before they say anything, they're running it through a filter. Is this actually helpful? Does this add real value? They've seen it happen. One careless comment can send a whole discussion off the rails. They'd much rather regret not saying something than regret saying the wrong thing. For them, it's about care, not just being heard. This is their mantra. Why risk saying something you might have to walk back later? Their silence is a form of empathy. It's a form of taking responsibility for their impact on others. And now, for a really interesting twist. What if the silence isn't about caution at all? What if it's pure strategy? That brings us to the strategic speaker. This person is a master of timing. This person is playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. They get that the exact same idea can have a totally different impact depending on when you say it, so they wait. They let everyone else get the obvious points out of the way, they let the noise settle, and then, bam, they step in right when the group is actually ready to hear something new. And that is the key difference. They're not fighting for attention, they're waiting for the perfect moment for their idea to truly land and resonate. They know that real influence isn't about how much you talk, but when. You see what's happening here? This means we have to completely reframe how we think about silence. What we so often just write off as insecurity? No, that's actually deep perception. What looks like someone being disinterested, that's careful, deliberate assessment. That hesitation is really patience. And what we think is a lack of confidence, it's actually a deep-seated need for accuracy. And this, right here, this is the heart of it. It all comes down to a totally different goal for communication. Some people talk because they want to be seen. Observers talk because they want to be understood. One is about performance, the other is about connection and clarity.
So, after hearing all that, take a second and think. Which one are you? Do any of these profiles really resonate? Does this maybe give you the words for something you've felt your whole life but couldn't quite explain?
Let's look at them one more time. The pattern reader, the trust calibrator, the deprocessor, the impact-conscious communicator, or the strategic speaker. Maybe you're a dead ringer for one, or maybe you're a mix of a few, shifting based on who you're with. And let's end with this thought. If you are one of these silent observers, the question isn't, why aren't you talking more? The real question, the much more powerful question, is what are you seeing, what are you noticing, while everyone else is just in a rush to talk? Your silence isn't empty space. It's full of information.